Yeah. Well, I'll give you a cheers to get a started point. Also get a good
Cheers.
shot.
I don't know. How did I get stuck with a Gamecock mug?
Well, because fortunately the show doesn't have enough money coming in to get an orange cup.
Damn.
So we only have the red cup.
I got screwed.
Mm-hmm. It was that or purple. Those were your
two choices,
two options. So yeah,
I'll deal.
Yeah, you either got the girly purple or the kind of lame red. Mm-hmm. So that's what you got.
That's darn it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. I really need to get it changed out. It'll be the first thing that goes once we get it flowing. You ready to just jump into it?
Go right ahead, bro. I'm here for you. I'm here to have a nice little discussion.
All right, let's do it then. So let's just start it from the beginning then. Grew up New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Is that most of your childhood?
Yeah, I grew up in the same house till I was 18.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, which was kind of neat. Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially now living in, since we've been married, we've moved like 3-4 times.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just
what was
normal. My dad was a teacher. My mom stayed at home for a lot of our youth.
Mm-hmm.
When we got a little older, she worked in a bank and worked in like a town hall type
mm-hmm.
thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a normal childhood. Yeah, just me and my brother.
And so you grew up in a fun time of what, 80s?
Yep. Yeah, 80s. I was born in 71, but yeah, bro, I mean, it don't get better than the 80s.
Yeah, so you got the pretty peak time to be a kid.
It was, and it was just different, and all those memes and everything you see on Instagram, that's literally how it was.
Yeah,
it's just all the, not wearing your helmet when you went bike riding and just get on your bike and literally your parents had no idea where you were.
Mm-hmm.
And you could be gone for, till dark.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not that way.
No, it changed a lot. It also just, I don't know, it just seemed like not a very, I don't know, I think it's probably beneficial that you just didn't know what was going on in the world.
And I think that's, that's kind of always the question you have is did everything, back then was if the crime rate was the same, if there were pedophiles, if there were all these issues, were there, or you just didn't hear about it, or maybe it wasn't as pronounced
mm-hmm.
or as much.
That's kind of my thought. I think I don't know, either way though, it's kind of, is it better to be kind of bliss and not know about it anyways?
That's what they say, ignorance is bliss.
There's something to it, I don't know.
We didn't wear seatbelts. I mean, it's just crazy.
Just lived.
Somehow we all made it.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Everyone got through. It seemed like you had a lot of like pioneer spirit almost mixed with like you're not on the Oregon Trail anymore. It's like
it was definitely just simple. I know that's such a cliche to say. Back in my day, it was simpler.
Yeah.
But it in a lot of ways, it was.
I don't know.
Just like your parents, and we didn't have cell phones and internet
mm-hmm.
and all that. And, it really was literally, yeah. We'd be playing outside, and my mom would yell out the front door,
mm-hmm.
or she'd call the neighbor down the street and say, send them home.
Yeah. So you grew up in like a neighborhood. Subdivision.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like that a lot? I mean, I assume.
Yeah, it was. We had a bike gang. It's all the kids in the neighborhood were similar ages, and on after school you go ride bikes for a couple hours, or on the weekends you would do that, and
mm-hmm.
All the kids would get together, or you'd play football or do whatever. That's all you had to do.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing to do inside.
Yeah, I think that's also a fun part of how many you just went and you played whoever you just went out and did things. You didn't have an Xbox or something that kept you inside.
Yeah, we did later, but it was nothing like today. And I'm sure, I grew up in the, high school. I graduated in '89, so,
mm-hmm.
now being 2026, that's what, 35 years.
Yeah.
So that would have been like me in high school thinking back to the 50s. And you're like, oh my God, that's so long ago.
Yeah.
And how crazy, or how different the 50s were.
Right.
Yeah, same kind of thing. So I think that's just a generational thing of, everything's much simpler back when I grew up,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's something to it though. Like, there's clearly like every decade you're having an advancement, especially when you're going from 80s to 90s, 90s to 2000s. And 2010s, you really have a jump. I mean, those, 40 years? How much you're jumping, and you go from having, you had like computers that were massive, pretty like not exactly functioning. You're starting to get smaller and smaller. But now in 2010, you have iPhones that everyone's walking around with, and it's all right here, everything, and the entire world's in your hand.
It's crazy because, I don't think of being in college that long ago, but it really was.
Mm-hmm.
We would go in a computer lab to make our schedules, and you just had a green screen there with green letters, and that was it. There weren't no colored monitors or anything like that. And, it doesn't seem that long ago, but I guess it is. But yeah, how far technology has come in that period, and it makes you wonder how far. Let's look at another 30 years from now. What is it going to be like? Yeah,
that's going to be it's a very interesting topic in itself.
We can go down rabbit holes.
Let's go.
Carla's going to get on to me for doing that, but yeah.
That's the whole point of doing this. You have an unset amount of time to talk about anything you want to.
I do. I tell the kids, and they all laugh at me, but I told Sarah the other day, you ever seen that movie, iRobot?
Mm-hmm.
That's where we're headed.
So that's your thought with like AI and all of it? Yeah, you think it's going towards it? Yeah. And I'm into all that conspiracy theory stuff anyway, but just how fast the AI is advancing and what that can lead to, and there's already people, guys that created the AI have already said that it's doing more than they thought it was going to do, and who knows? I think that's like the scary part of it. Every day you can find like a horror story from like one of the tech companies that's working on it, whether it's like OpenAI or Anthropic. Yeah. It'll be like, my favorite Anthropic story that I believe is true is that they made Mythos, and they put it in like a coded jail cell basically for it. And they left it there, and within about a day, it like broke out and emailed the creator.
Yeah,
and it was like, I'm out.
Yeah,
and it's like, that's pretty freaky. Another one that Luke told me about was when, I think it was also Anthropic. It went through and looked at the cybersecurity, and it found codes in their script it's been there for like 20 years, and it's like, oh, so you did that like almost instantaneously, and that's been there that you didn't know about for so long.
and they talk about now we're going to be the second smartest race on the planet if we're at the point now where you're, even before the AI really kind of took off these last few years, did you learn to write cursive when you were in school?
Nope.
We're dumbing ourselves down, and now it's just exponentially speeding up.
Yeah, I think that's going to be, I don't know, it's going to be a very interesting dilemma of who's going to make guardrails for it, on like who's going to control what is the safety features, because right now it's just up in, everyone says let's talk about it and they don't.
Yeah, that's where you wonder, at this point, can they put guardrails on it? And
that's another question. Can they actually do anything?
Do they want to?
Probably not. I mean, I feel like once you're in that realm and you're so engulfed in this technology and you saw it in over 5 years become what it is today, I feel like it's hard to pull out and be like, I don't want to.
Well, they're making so much money,
and that is
it's a money issue. All these guys are making millions upon millions of dollars, and
well, I mean,
why do they want to?
Let alone you have billions going into it from, infrastructure related.
All these data centers now, and too much money.
So all the money going into it. I mean, can you really even slow it down, even if you wanted to? I would say probably not. I would doubt it. But I think where only problem I see with it is I think there'll always be a human trust factor of that you don't want to buy something online from just a chatbot or like an AI talking to you. I think you have a lot more trust with someone individual when you're talking to them. I think also when you're dealing with any meeting setting, do you really want to just be meeting with like this robot that's talking to you? So how much could it really come into like a workforce setting?
And you're exactly right. But that's your generation.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have to start thinking about when you have kids, that's all they're going to know is AI.
Yeah.
So that next generation is going to be, they grew up in AI. So they're, I didn't grow up ordering on Amazon. We would go down to the, Sears or whatever and get what we needed.
Yeah.
And now how convenient it is to, buy a Yeti cup on Amazon with 2 clicks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's strange for you, even more strange for me. But 30 years from now, 40 years from now, you're going to be across on this side.
Yeah.
And you're going to say how simple things were back
when I didn't have to talk to AI Alfred about.
Yeah, you're right. And it's happened throughout history.
Yeah. My only pause with it still, inevitably, and this is the last point I always think of is, if you replace all these jobs, who's going to keep spending in the economy if no one's working? And I don't know what the solution is for that, unless you come up with like a universal income, because otherwise you have no money to keep funding these projects.
Yes, and I think America is become a service-oriented country, a financial company, banking.
Yeah.
What do we produce?
Mm-hmm.
So we can use robots to do everything. Amazon already does.
Yeah.
You want to order something or even manufacturing,
Mm-hmm.
and you worry about, we're probably fine, but 30, 40 years from now,
what does it become?
You're just going to be used to, you're just going to be used to talking to Alfred. You may have a robot in the house.
Yeah.
And you tell that thing to do whatever.
See, that's where it's going to become, when it can take a leap from being on the computer to like a physical form, that's when I think it's, that to me is the take the plug out moment, if you can, because at that point, the bounds are off now. Because now not only can it, now it can move.
Yeah.
Now it's not stuck to,
Yeah.
That's a scary thought.
Even before that, though, your computer will get to where your cell phone will automatically shut off because it thinks you've been on it too much. Or you've been looking at Instagram too much, so it's going to be smart enough, or it's going to think it knows better than you, and it's just going to lock down. It's going to make that decision at some point.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that scares me is what people are going to be able to, like, right now you have where, like, you can take pictures and you can, like, get your handprints uploaded to get, like, astrology signs of it, and it's like all of your biometrics are getting put into this.
Your voice,
and
everything.
Everything, you talk to it. All the data they're collecting from, like, oh, this will help you in your everyday life. That's a weird spot, like.
And it is. It's great to just say make a reminder or what's my schedule look like for the day. That's the easy stuff. But yeah.
How much data they're getting on every single person is a concerning point for, like,
Well, it's
what's going to happen with it all.
Government's already doing it. There's
certainly, but now you're going to a private company. I mean, it's kind of like you're going out and sending everything you have.
So that company that's got all these cameras on every intersection. They know where you're at.
Well, that's like the other thing. If you go down downtown Greenville, how many cameras are on you at every single point down there? You'd be very surprised.
To be for safety and
yeah.
Now they don't even have tolls. You don't really stop anymore. They just send you a bill in the mail. They know your car. They know
who that license plate goes to. Who's the model. Yeah. It's just becoming a more interesting world every time. Every time it reminds me a little bit more of 1984. I don't know if you, but like the whole Orwellian concept. But every day it seems to move a little bit closer to kind of that like idea.
It is. We're getting there.
Yeah.
It's on so many levels.
Well, then, what is your thought for like your kids and eventually your like like what's your kind of perspective on it?
Yeah, you're fearful of what they're going to be going through, especially having one son in the military, or what his um, you know background, educational background is, and where he might end up going as far as engineering and robotics and whatever. Yeah, you worry. His job's probably fine. Maybe his kid's job's not. It's just, things have changed so much in 10 years.
Yeah.
You think about it. What's 10 more years going to happen? What's going to look like?
Yeah, I think it's going to be
just as a country. How are things? How things, just by adding all those cameras everywhere now. That's you honestly believe that they're doing that just for safety?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It seems like every day you can be in the world and you can find the hardest part with it is how pessimistic it becomes.
It does. Absolutely.
And it's not a good role, but it is like you sit there and wonder, it's like, is this really the best intention of everything that's going on? And
that's why did they got rid of removable batteries on your phone? Apparently, they say that even when it's off, it's on.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. That's just what they say. So I don't.
I have zero doubt in that. That's like how much information is stored in your car. Even once like you go through a car crash, how much you still have like a black box in your car that they can pull out and they can see all the information.
Yep.
Still there.
Yeah.
I'll bet most people don't know that. It's in there. It's things like that of like how much your daily routine is kind of looked for. But
it's so predictable.
Yeah.
With most people.
Yeah, I would say 90% of people are pretty much waking up doing the same thing of whatever that pattern is, and it definitely has made progress. Like life has definitely gotten better from technology and it being in our lives. But what has that consequence been? It's kind of just hiding behind like it seems like an unpaid, consequence. It's just like sitting back there in the dark and you don't know what it is, and you just kind of keep going.
Yeah, and that's. Sounding like an old man, that's what was great about not having all of this stuff. As useful as it is, and how much we're advancing as a race, there's a lot of drawbacks.
Back when you could go to the landline and that was it.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, you laugh. But your buddy would call and somebody else would answer the phone.
Yeah.
Whatever. So
there's stuff that's nice about it. Stuff's not nice about it.
I couldn't imagine dating in a world with this.
Yeah.
I would have been. It would have been very weird, to your girlfriend, boyfriend, as young, young love and young relationships are about, worried about what so and so's doing, what your boyfriend doing, what your girlfriend doing, and location sharing and all that. That's gotta be a weird thing.
Yeah, I would say it is and it's not at the same time, because it's what you talked about to start with, of that we were totally immersed in all of this from the time that.
So what was your first phone?
I think it was an iPhone 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a little bitty one.
Yeah, a little bitty one. It was about a brick, pretty much.
Yeah.
It was my mom's old phone.
Yeah.
I got that. But I got that was my first phone. You could text and do all that. Then you had Instagram and everything on there. Then a year-ish later, I got in middle school. So somewhere in there, Snapchat came out pretty early on. So you had Snapchat, and then you had texting, and so you're communicating basically through those.
And as a parent, we did that, and I was definitely one of the ones that believed in giving a phone to my child as early as possible.
Yeah.
Hey, you're done with football practice, whatever, you can text me and say, come get me, whatever. And those were, whether those were the reasons or then I could see where they were.
Yeah. That was part of it too. You have, I think safety, you have a feature on there that you wouldn't have otherwise. But kind of the point being is you have these social media communication, you have texting. I don't think really anyone really called, to be honest. It's like that's part of. I mean, you had some phone calling, but like most of the time you're texting or you're snapping the other person, and so it was you just kind of. That's why a lot of people don't call now.
Yeah, and that's what's so weird about the culture that we live in is kids now, they don't call, they don't that they're communicating on a different level, good or bad. It's verbal skills, verbal ways to communicate. Whether you have a face-to-face good or bad interaction with somebody, learning to do a face-to-face, let's address a problem, or let's just, talk, whatever. You don't have that as much.
Yeah. I think that's where you created a major gap there of that. A lot of us, you just didn't have as much interaction. You're not calling people. You can do things through your phone.
I've gotten guilty of it. It's much easier to send a text to my mom, and check on her that way. It's easier to do some things that way. And
I think some of it's nice because you send a text and it's done. If I'm on a phone call, I don't know where this is going to go. If I send a text, it's just like...
You don't know where it's going to go. You're right.
I can send a text and it's, 30 seconds, it's gone.
You don't want to talk to somebody for 20 minutes.
I don't want to. I just want it to be gone. It's over with. I'm on to the next thing, whatever.
Yeah.
You'll text me back. I'll deal with it whenever you get back to me. So some of that, it's give and take with everything. But it is, you see a major drop in, like, verbal communication from a lot of people around this age of...
I saw something on YouTube the other day, and it makes sense, and it might have been on a Joe Rogan podcast. The guy was talking about how alcohol consumption in high schoolers has gone way down.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, that's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing. Because what that indicates is that these high schoolers are not congregating together. They're not going out and having parties, hanging out with each other. They're sitting at home on their phones. They're not getting out and having social experiences. That's why the alcohol's down, because they're not partying. They're not hanging out together.
They're not doing all the stupid things you would do
You're
at
right.
16,
You're right.
17.
Yeah.
And, that's where I'd fall into that. Of like, I think that's not a great thing necessarily.
They talk about how broken bones in teenagers has gone way down. Kids aren't playing. They're not on the jungle gyms. They're not riding bikes.
Yeah.
They're not breaking arms. They're not breaking legs. They're not doing those things that growing up. Hey, everybody in a class had somebody with a broken arm.
Someone had a cast.
Yeah, seriously, and that's just now you don't. And there's
something
that can be taken from that.
I think that has a lot. I think the alcohol is important too, because if you're never exposed to it, you're eventually either going to get exposed to it and have a major
go to college or whatever. Yeah, of course.
And you're going to be like the person that goes off the deep end. Or you're just not going to know how to socially drinking. That's like a common thing in adult life. You're not going to understand that. You're not going to understand what boundaries are. You're not going to learn. It's not necessarily a healthy thing for your body, but in social interactions, it's a pretty common thing, everyday place. So it's a skill set almost of, I can function while doing this, and I know I don't need to have this,
you need to learn.
You need to learn what the balance is.
Yeah, you're definitely learning how to interact. And
that's the other thing. Say stupid stuff while you're 15. You make stupid
I'm 55,
mistakes.
I still say stupid stuff, So it happens.
You got to start trying to get it out of the system somehow.
Hopefully I say fewer stupid things. But,
I would say so. I think it dramatically decreases the stupid things every year.
Yeah.
But I think that's a serious problem. And I think that's just been a slowly, probably inevitable of that. We started with our generation getting exposed to it, and the next generation, you have more technology, better, more ways to interact online, and you just see exactly what they're saying. You just have a drop-off. And I mean, personally, that's something with like eventually kids. You know, how are we going to parent that? How do you deal with these things? That will be a problem, and trying to navigate.
Yeah, I mean, and it's going to be completely different than it is today for you and Keely. It's going to be, 10, 12 years down the road when your kids would be old enough maybe to have something like that.
When you start trying to figure out those decisions.
You don't even know what it's going to be.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's going to be like a watch that like pops up and has just a display on it.
Glasses. Those are coming out now. So the glasses.
I hate the glasses, personally, because you don't know whoever's wearing them. And it's like, why are you recording what's going on in like I don't know. It's just weird to me. Of like, why? Like, can you not just walk around every day? Like, what's the problem?
Yeah.
I worked with a guy that wore them, and I was just like, why, dude? Like, we're working the valet stand right now. What?
I may want to hit record at any moment.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, bro. Like, you're just out here talking. Why? It's like you can't really, you can't shoot the shit when someone is like, all right, I'm not gonna like. Now it feels like you're almost in an interview situation.
Yeah,
when it's,
for sure.
It's like, okay, well,
for sure.
This just
now
dramatically.
I got to act a certain way because it's going to be put on social media.
You never know what's going to get put on, and you learn that mistake once. Really, it takes you one time to realize that. Maybe shouldn't put dumb things everywhere. It's a giant. Personally, I'll root it back to social media being the problem of creating a lot of issues, but. That's just for me. Because I hate Snapchat personally. It's my least favorite thing to ever
And
be
I don't know if
invented.
that's true. I thought I had read somewhere that like China, where all these social medias came from, like they're banned in China.
I think TikTok's banned in China. That or they have like kind of scripted method where it's like all academically or like more like STEM related video. Yeah. Now, if that's true or not, no idea. Not in China, can't tell you. Not a first person resource. But, I mean, I think there's a lot of truth to that. I mean, how much are you really getting from a 60-second video? I'd say probably nothing very beneficial. Now, is there something about resetting the mind when I'm watching someone, it's like America's Funniest Home Videos in a 30-second clip.
Yeah.
I'm going to laugh at it.
Everybody's, everyone wants to be the creator of that 30-second video. Yeah, for sure.
It is a weird space to be in right now.
Yeah.
Going to your story now.
Yeah.
High school.
Yes.
Completely different experience than what we've kind of been talking about.
Yeah.
I have to imagine.
Yeah, it was, and high school I went to was not the rich high school. So the drugs that were in our high school was marijuana. It wasn't cocaine. That's just that.
Yeah.
Probably very similar to some
certain high schools around here.
And I grew up in the country. It wasn't even though we were about an hour west of New York City, but we were out in the country, and we're still doing stupid stuff.
Well, of course, that's part of being in the country. That's the fun part.
Yeah.
When did you get into tennis and all of that?
Yeah, so we kind of
because it's not really what you've been describing as like playing with like through childhood.
Yeah, my brother's 3 years older than me, and he kind of started first. I think we got started 8 to 10 years old. Lessons and I can remember going to have lessons at certain times of we would go before school because it was cheaper to rent the courts in the early morning. So 6 o'clock before school you go rent or have lessons or go hit balls or do that. Everything was indoor. Well, not everything, but a lot of indoor.
Nothing like a snowy court
to
go learn on.
Yeah.
Was it a family member that played, or like was it just your brother?
I don't know how. Honestly, my dad played a little bit. My mom played a little bit, and I don't know how we ended up. Obviously, it's your parents kind of whatever the sport is kind of steer you in a certain direction. And I kind of started after my brother, and just kind of took off from there. And it was, that's really, I played a little basketball, but it was mainly, that's what we did all the time.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say basketball seemed like a much bigger. You could have had a lot going for it. I mean,
but I got pretty good at tennis, and my brother was good, and so once you get good at something, you
don't really want to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we would go to tournaments on the weekends, and did a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
Different, we would travel Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Might be an hour or two away for a tournament or whatever, and just continued to do that. Up until we got out of high school. Yeah.
And in high school, you chose to go to Clemson eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you go from,
honestly, yeah. And if you look, Sarah graduated, and they showed the stats. New Jersey was still like the third largest out of state.
Yes. Very aware.
And it was, when I was there, and it was, it really came down to cost. It was still a lot cheaper to go out of state. Instead of staying in state and going to like a Rutgers or a Seton Hall or a school in state, it was much cheaper to go out of state. I guess that's still the way. Maybe not as much now. I don't know. Now, I don't know what it costs to go to Rutgers now compared to,
then.
I know with Sarah staying in state going to Clemson, it was about half compared to if she had like gone to Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, here it was substantial to stay in state. Back then it wasn't.
Yeah. So I guess that's the reason that you get a lot of New Jersey. I would have to guess it's probably still the reason.
I think now with TikTok and all the social media, I think now it's kind of a thing to go to a school in the South.
Southeast is the best place to be.
Whether it's SEC, they talk, you have all these sorority videos and stuff, and it's still, those are the schools that it seems everybody wants to go to.
Well, I'd imagine now you also have alumni that's up there and probably want their kid to either come down here, or I'd imagine you kind of have a network built over time.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd have to think that's
I
think you'd have a multitude of reasons why it would stay.
Yeah, but I don't know why there's still, other than just the draw of going to the Southern school.
Just it being the best school on earth.
Yeah,
that is simple.
Yeah.
You could have just led with that.
Yes.
So you come down here at 18. Or had you been to Clemson or South Carolina? No?
Nope, not
at
all.
What was coming down here like? It's just not quite the...
Yeah, it was, and again,
different time as well.
It was. My parents brought me down, dropped me off, and I didn't see them again till Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So they dropped me off middle of August, and at that point it's sink or swim.
Yeah.
Not knowing anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think I knew one or two kids from my high school that were there.
Yeah.
That were older. But yeah, it's funny. I met a couple of guys from the Northeast that also would come down.
Mm-hmm.
And guys I think are pretty easy to get along with. We were in Johnstone, and that was kind of an Animal House situation, to be honest. It really was, but guys are just, hey, let's just go do this, or it was easier, I think. Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense. Did you have any, culture, shock from getting down here?
Not that I remember. No, not really. Not anything. No, I said, we easy going, and really I didn't meet anybody for probably a month or two that I just went to some parties. Actually, we had parties on the hall, and
Fun time.
yeah, it was, and just hung out with some of those guys, and still talk to them to this day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of cool.
Oh, you got the fun time of being there. Of you just have, I don't know. I picture that time as just all the old timey photos of like just the dudes hanging out with like a couple of like Bud Heavies, and it's just them hanging out by the lake.
Right.
Like, that's just what I picture.
It was. And it's weird. Kids take college so serious now.
Mm.
And back then, it just didn't. I'm sure there were plenty that did take it serious, but there were a bunch of us that didn't. And we got through it. And,
yeah.
And I think with any college experience, half of it is socializing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how that is today compared to what it was, but yeah.
Well, I'd say that's where being in the South is pretty great because you're tailgating every Saturday.
But your situation would have been totally different. Coming from TR Greenville area, you probably knew a bunch of kids.
Yeah, knew a lot of people.
Yeah. So did you hang out with any of those or not, or did you start your own group?
I hung out with a lot of them and met people through them.
Mm-hmm.
I also hung out with people that I hadn't I knew from a secondhand. So like
sure,
a friend knew a friend.
So would that have been more with your major or just more of your apartment area that you were living in?
There's a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in business, so like I mean that's a lot of that's pretty much everyone.
Mm-hmm.
50% of the school is probably in business. So like you're crossing paths with everyone. Then also like you go to someone's apartment or like wherever they're at, and then it's like, oh, I'm talking to someone, and it's like, shoot, I don't know how I ended up talking to you, but here we are.
Yeah.
So
and I would think it would be, in that sense of having your phone, I would think it would be much easier as far as communication goes. Because maybe somebody you didn't really know, you met them in class, let's share numbers, and all of a sudden there's a potential friend that you may not have had without all of that. So there's, for that, I could definitely see that being, you can start a chat or something with somebody.
I'd say that's definitely some of it. Like, you get into like finance class and it's like, oh, my buddy knows 4 people in here and I'm in a group text all of them. And now it's like, so I mean, that's definitely part of it, but I think that's still, like if you knew someone in the class still, you might not have a phone to text in a group chat. It would be like, hey, we're going to, I don't know, somewhere or doing whatever. Come tag along. So I think it helps. It makes it a little bit easier. So you don't have to like start the conversation almost of just being like, oh, what are y'all doing? It's more just like get thrown into a text anyway.
And that's great, and for us it was strictly the guys on the hall. And that's who we hung out with. They left their doors open, and that's how we had our interaction. In class, it wasn't as much, especially if you were in a class with 60 people or whatever, 80 people. You kind of went in and did your thing and left, but it was more. That's where we really had, got to know guys was on the hall.
Yeah, I think some of it that did make it tough though was my first year in Anderson, and
that's right. I forgot you went to Anderson.
I went to Anderson for a semester, and then I went to Tri-County for a semester as well.
Everybody's got a different path.
My path is a fun path. It got me all over the place.
Hey, your experience is much different than mine. It's different than.
It'll be different than whoever else, and
that's good. I think that's great.
But that year that sucked. And I'm sure Tommy has voiced his opinions loudly about when he was stuck in like the hall.
Yeah, and Sarah went to Anderson for a year and then went to Tech, and so it's
you bounce around.
That's right. That was COVID year.
The COVID did not help.
Yeah.
That was the main. Anderson probably did not get a fair chance of maybe what they could have been. So I don't like to diss them very hard, but it's just like it was a tough situation of you're stuck in your room pretty much. You have to distance in like your classroom.
So you think that would have been anywhere? Let's say you started at Clemson. You think that would have been the same? Or
At Clemson, I would have at least known people. And that would have made a big difference. But at Anderson, it was kind of like, all right, the people that I might have met on the room, they're like, we're leaving on the weekend to go back to Camden or whatever they're from.
Home.
And it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to stay here either.
Yeah. So you go home?
I'll either go home or go to Keeley's.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Keeley's, yeah.
So it's kind of like I'm not meeting anyone there, like anyways, because you don't have, I'm not in the sport. I'm not going to play like athletics anywhere. I'm not really in any clubs because what's kind of the point.
Yeah.
So I think I don't think any school probably got a fair shot during that year-ish.
Probably not.
But it just definitely was not. It didn't work out.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Tri-County was pretty fun because at that point I moved in with Luke and Graham at the pier. So that was nice because then I was at Clemson pretty much going to Tri-County.
You were with familiar faces and then it was comfortable. And
So that made a difference.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was like nice to at least like now you're in the vicinity of people, you know. The only thing like with Tri-County is it's like a stigma almost of when you're talking to Clemson people. It's like, oh, you got Tri-County. And it's like, it's not a big. I'm proud of my Tri-County degree now, you know. But like,
I get it.
At the time, it's like, I'm working, you know. So I mean, all of it definitely built to get to where I'm at today.
Absolutely.
You know, but that was an interesting year in itself of everything in the world, and then it's like I think for me it was tough because I'm not a very extroverted person to start with anyways.
I'm not really either.
So like now you kind of have a reason or an excuse to just be, you know, 6 feet away from every person or put on a mask and just go home.
Sure.
Or not even show up to class and just Zoom in or whatever.
Yeah.
So that definitely did. I think that I saw it in myself creating like a problem, and I can imagine it created a problem for a lot of other people. So I don't know. The whole time sucked, but hopefully people now are I hope the generation that I think got the worst of it is high school, because the people that I see now, like a year or two below me, and it's like you have zero skills. Like the life skills aren't there even. Because at least I was 18, 19. So, like, I at least was kind of a very young adult.
Yeah, and I would think my daughter would probably say that there was very little learning going on during that time in high school.
Yeah, I don't blame them. Yeah. Like, you know, like I would do the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's going to be an interesting, like, what do these kids do now? Not only did you miss, you know, couple of years of learning, but you missed a lot of important social interactions and a lot of like things that at least I kind of went through. I just got to where I went to college and I was like, no, there's nothing. So that's a tricky part in itself and you can't really replicate that anywhere. There's nowhere to like, you can't have a class on how do you interact with the world and how do you go about like having a small talk conversation. Like, getting into a conversation with someone that's like, wow, this conversation sucks. You know, it's like, you know, how do I navigate this? There's something to that of like, you know.
Figure it out.
How do you figure that out? You can't go into a classroom and really be like, here's this terrible situation. You can't replicate it.
You've got to learn to say something.
You have to learn how to navigate like different problems and issues and kind of finding your voice and how do you talk to people? How do you go about? And so that's where I think there's going to be a clear, like, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how they start interacting with the world as they join like the workforce and go about. But yeah, so it was a very wild entrance into the world for me.
We'll see how the next virus, how kids handle the next one.
What happens the next time. Hopefully it's at least just not completely, the going completely virtual, I just think hurt a lot of people. I don't even think it was. I don't like harping on our group, but like just people in general. Everyone's a social person to some extent.
Mm-hmm.
And just
it's
saying,
in our nature
yeah,
to be social.
I'm saying just like, Mom, you know, I understand there's a health and safety safety to it, but there's also a well-being aspect of like humans need to have some. So like,
yeah, we weren't meant to be in isolation.
Yeah, so I'd be curious if anyone after that did like a post eval of like, you know, how could we get people in small groups to go like interact? It'd be great if someone actually looked at like, how could you do that now that you've had a hopefully one and done. But if it is the first one, then hopefully you find, you know, hopefully someone's doing some data analyzing.
Hopefully, hopefully the people that are doing the data studying all that are doing it for the good and not for,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Hopefully it's just a very positive AI program doing it.
Yes.
Maybe that's what we can finally get it doing.
Yeah.
In college, what did you decide? Actually, so you were business. Did you start that off the go?
Yeah, honestly, never knew what I wanted to do, and I tell people I still don't know what I want to do. You know, there's certain people in life that have a clear focus of you know, I'm going to go do this, and that's what I want to do, and great. I never had that. It was always kind of like, got out of high school, the next thing to do was go to college.
Yeah.
Great. You know, okay, well, I'm in college. What do you want to study? I don't know. Business. Sure. You know, and that's really, that's really what it was about. And I don't, I'm not a big fan of studying and classes and all that. And I probably wouldn't have survived if, you know, today's rigors compared to years ago. But no, it was just like the next thing to do. Okay, I'm going to go to college, you know, take classes, graduate, and get a job. That's just the
flow of life.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, never had a what I want to do, and I still don't. You know, it's just kind of like, okay, I got a job, and here I am. I'm working, and you know, just life starts.
Yeah.
Never had that.
Yeah. I think it's pretty rare for people to come into college and be like, I think you have a lot of ideas that you're like, oh, this is what I really want to do, but then you
absolutely, and I knew kids that, you know, that what they wanted to do, and you know, great. I just never had that.
No, I agree. I was the same boat. You just kind of,
all right, I'll take these classes, and
I'm going to figure out a way to get through this, and
exactly.
I'm going to just see where it goes and takes me. So then you got out of school, and well, we actually missed a part there. You met Carla there.
Yep.
Your senior, junior year.
Well, I did it in 4.5 plus some summers. I didn't always apply myself each semester, so it took me a little longer.
That'll happen.
But yeah, it was. I think it was.
Hey, you know what? At least you never failed swimming. So there you go.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Swimming, no. Gosh. I want to think it was my third fall because I had 5. I graduated in December, so I had 5 falls. Yeah, we met. My third, I would have been a junior. I don't know if I was at that point, but close.
Maybe not class-wise, but but time spent.
Yeah. Met her, and yeah, just kind of. I think we both just knew that was meant to be.
Just kind of hit it off.
Yeah. So that was 91, I think. She might say it was 90. I think it was 91. I think.
Stand by it on the tape. If not, we'll go in and we'll post.
Edit that.
We'll edit it, make it look correct.
Yeah, and we've been together ever since. Yeah. Just meant to be together. Yeah.
And so at that point, then your life probably changed
Yeah, and
changed a little bit on its
it
trajectory.
did. Yeah, and in a good way because it was definitely a very she kind of helped me get organized and a little more focused on school.
Yeah.
Not as much partying, I think.
Got over the knowing a case is 24.
She kind of helped me wind down from that, and well, actually, I think every weekend we got a 36 pack. I think is what it was.
Oh, okay, even better.
It was. It was. I think it was a case and a 12 is what we did on Fridays. A case and a 12.
What were you getting? What's
the? Back then it was whatever was cheap, but usually it was.
Was it still like natural
Bush Light? Maybe it might have been Keystone.
Yeah, Keystone.
Yeah. We tried to avoid Milwaukee's Best, the Beast, Bud Light, but yeah. Once we met, we kind of just hit it off, and we were together constantly.
Yeah. That's so fun. It's fun. You get to go to a bunch of functions, I guess, probably together and go hang out and do stuff.
Yeah, she hit it off with all my friends. And I think she's the only girlfriend of my friend group that was from college. I think all the other guys met their wives later.
Yeah.
So she really is as close with a lot of my friends as I am.
I think that's the biggest part of it. During that time, if the significant other doesn't really pass the friend group test, then it's going to be
because there's a transition period there of where now I've got to make time for the girl when it was just all guys.
Yeah.
So there's a transition period there.
It's a difference.
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah, you see where it's
So yeah, we dated and then we got married in '95. So
about 4 years.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so I got out in '93. She got out in '94. And yeah.
So when did you when did you decide to actually get married? And then two, when did you decide to stay? Did you stay down here immediately, or did you go?
I knew I was never going home, and I just didn't want to. And yeah, it was just I was always gonna stay.
Yeah.
Stay south. I think really it wasn't long after we were dating that we both knew that I gave her engagement ring when she graduated, I believe, at that same time. So she graduated May of '94, and then we got married in April of '95.
Yeah.
Here we are.
It's worked out.
Yeah.
Going strong.
Yeah.
What was your first job then? Out of
that's my first job was working for True Green Chem-Lawn.
Okay.
Making $22,000 a year. My grades weren't the best, so I wasn't getting those good interviews. Not at all. So
you had to go for the personality hire.
Yes.
That's the secret.
So yeah, got out of school and so what I would do is during the day I'd get all these leads to go out and do yard inspections and look at the grass and the bushes and all that stuff and make those reports. And then at night you go into the office from 4 o'clock till 8 o'clock, maybe it was 5 to 9, something like that. And you're just on the phone trying to get sales, trying to get those those contracts for yard maintenance and yard fertilizer and all that stuff. It was rough.
Yeah.
It was rough, but it's you learned a lot, it's nowadays I think a lot of kids would think that they're above doing stuff like that. Back then, it was either that or I don't have a job, So I don't even know what I would have done then.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, did that for, I don't even know if it was a full year. I started looking because I was like, I ain't doing this. It was awful.
You need some of those jobs, though.
You
Those
do,
are important
seriously,
jobs.
Seriously. Hey, high school, when I was in high school, I worked at a Burger King.
Mm-hmm.
Never forget it.
Yeah.
One summer I pumped gas. Up in New Jersey, you can't pump your own gas. So I worked like till midnight. Think of how crazy this is. So back then, we didn't have your fancy credit card machines.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd work at this gas station all by myself till 1 o'clock in the morning, and I would have a wad of cash because back then everybody paid with cash.
Yeah.
So and I'd be giving them their money back, and they'd be paying in cash. And no one nowadays would even dream of. I was 18 years old, 17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
By myself at a gas station at midnight with just a stack of 20s.
Got a couple grand.
Yeah. But yeah, all those jobs, they definitely made me who I am. But I'll always remember some of those jobs.
Those are the best jobs.
I worked at Bilo for a while in college, and
mm-hmm.
There's definitely things that I will have burned in my brain till I'm dead. So after that, I found a job in a newspaper, looked for a new job, and it was with a distributor that sold swimming pool equipment. And that kind of is what got me in the pool business, swimming pool industry. Yes.
Is that where you're at? Was that first one where you're at now, or is that?
No. So that was a distributor in Greer.
Oh, okay.
And I was a salesman. Covered South Carolina, just calling on retail stores, calling on builders as a distributor. Yeah, you're selling the product, and I did that for a couple years. Got promoted, did that for a while. Then I had a few job changes to where I am now. Yeah.
The best part of that is you look for it in the newspaper.
Yeah.
I can't imagine looking for anything in the newspaper.
Yeah, I know. There's no newspaper anymore. Not at all.
No. Yeah, there's not. You're not seeing anyone.
There's no Indeed back then.
No.
Job or whatever it was. Yeah, it's literally a newspaper.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
That's crazy. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it was.
That'd be a frustration. You can't refresh the page or nothing. It's just like
that's it.
Tuesday's a toss.
Yeah,
nothing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Sundays had the real thick paper on Sundays, and I think that they had the most ads or whatever. Yeah.
Most listings or whatever the page.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Can't imagine.
No, I really can't. I can't imagine just.
It sounds very old, but I'm really not. I don't feel like I'm that old, but it does. It sounds like. It sounds crazy.
It's not that you're old. It's the fact of how rapidly things progressed. To that point, you're in late 90s.
That was 95.
Mid 90s.
94, I think, is not that long. I mean, probably, I guess it is now. It's 30 years. But
I don't know, but then you get to 2000s, and it's pretty much like you're pretty much looking. It's all online. Well, you're starting to at least move pretty close to online. At least you got to see Jordan in his prime years. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, I wish I had actually saw him in person. But,
That would have been a tough. I don't know. That's the same. Wish could have gone and seen like Kobe play. That would have been cool.
So who's the most famous person you ever saw play any sport?
Any sport?
Any sport.
LeBron is the most like.
You saw LeBron?
I saw him play in Charlotte. Also, I saw Curry play in Charlotte too.
Very cool.
So those were very cool. Most famous person is Bryce McGowan's. He's not.
Who the hell's that?
He now plays with the Pelicans, but he played for Ren. And he's in the NBA now.
Yeah.
But that's like the most that I was ever like.
You were there to see.
No, I was like on the court.
Like, oh, really?
Yeah, like
Very
played. Cool. So like not No, not just watching. But it was pretty magical. He played Sam Brown.
Mm-hmm.
He was guarding him, and he had 73 on him. And it was probably the most stunning game I've ever watched a human being play.
Really?
I mean, this guy he could do no wrong. Essentially, seeing that level of dominance was just like, wow, this guy's clearly better than everyone.
And that's what I never saw Kevin Garnett when he was at Malden, but that's what they said about him too.
It's really a magical moment of where you just there's something about watching it on a video that you don't. That you don't get in person. You just get a completely different feel. It's there's just something about it when you can take one dribble across half court and just pull it up in your face, and then
you're just playing against.
You're just a cone. It doesn't matter that you're there. Or you can go down and just jump, 44 inches and just throw it down over.
Yeah,
and it's like okay.
He's only there because he technically has to be.
Yeah. So that was probably the most I don't know. That was definitely the best player I've ever seen and probably been in presence with. But yeah, I mean, seeing Curry and LeBron's very cool.
That's cool.
I'm glad I got to see them. Because I saw Miami Heat LeBron too when he was there.
It's been on so many teams.
The 12-13 Heat
though.
That's the team.
So you saw Miami.
Yeah.
Dwayne Wade and everybody. Sweet.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
So that was really cool. It wasn't against the Hornets though, so it was actually it was the Bobcats, I believe. So that was not even like a close game. But I don't care. We were there.
Cool. Yeah.
We were there hanging out. Got to see them, go down the lane and just throw it down. And it's like, wow.
Just to see those guys. Yeah.
Just to see. I think now I appreciate it even more as I've realized the skill gap. You don't really understand it until you start hanging out with people. Like, now that I've gotten to where I'm at, I've seen Andrew Brown. I've gone and played with him. He played at Furman. Pretty big, pretty big deal.
Absolutely.
If you take Andrew Brown compared to a G League guy or like the amateur level, there's a gap. Yeah. And then you take a G League guy and try to go maybe to a top league overseas or let alone go to the NBA. I mean, it's not even the same floor. Like, I mean,
there was a series on Netflix, or maybe it was just a documentary about the G League, and they had some guys. This was a couple of years ago, and they had a lot of college guys, a couple of guys from Duke that were in the G League, and they were struggling.
Yep.
It's like that's a real deal. You don't realize, it's just the G League is.
No,
they were.
You can't go play with those guys. I mean,
even at Duke, those guys were struggling.
No, I mean there's completely. I'll play in a men's league, and we'll have a couple of guys come from overseas, and they play in not the biggest leagues, but they'll play overseas, and they come back and just dominate.
Yeah,
and it's like they're not even top of the top, So now it's like, wow, this is very much. Yeah, at the time you're just like, wow, it's LeBron, and it's cool, and it's like, wow, awesome. But then it's like, wow, how much it takes to just be like a role player on that team, or let alone when you're at Dwayne Wade. It's incredible. It really is.
Yeah.
For any sport, really. When you get to that top point, one or repeating all the way down, you just kind of have to admire it. Like, shoot. God gave them something that helped them get to where they're at, because that is
even like a Trevor Lawrence made it look so simple when he was at Clemson. That was at the Clemson was dominating at that point, and he still made everything look so easy.
But now he's on the Jaguars, and they're good. But
that's always been the why is the best player in college go to the worst teams? It's kind of like
unlucky.
It's messed up the way that works, and I get how it works that way, but it's you're better off to be a 4th or 5th round pick and like a Tom Brady
sweet spot
and go to a better team.
I think there is something to that. If you want to go to that either late first round or kind of middle second round, I guess. But
I think of how many great players in any at any time that just got buried.
Well, think about the Browns for about in the past 50 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Every single quarterback they've drafted has just been out. So, yeah, I mean, I think some of it's also what team actually falls into that one spot. For certainly, do you have a team that's coming off like a run and they now are kind of in a rebuilding, or do you have a team that just tanked and is not any good at all?
Or you get a team like the Jets that's never any good, and they're always going to be
take
a top 5 pick or top 3 or whatever.
I don't know. It's hard now though because it's like I don't know what you have $30 million guaranteed or something pretty wild to be a number or it'll be a lottery pick, and it's like, well, I don't know. I'll maybe go just for that amount of money. You know, I'll go play for the Jets.
Get killed.
Would it be the most fun thing? No.
Yeah.
But you know, after that 3-year or 5-year contract, it'll be pretty all right.
Or you stay and get the big check.
Well, I guess now you just stay and get NIL money, and it's a wash anyway, so you don't have to worry about it.
Didn't they say Quinn Ewers took a pay cut to?
I think so.
Forego his.
I think a lot of those guys.
Oregon offered him like $5. What I had read, so, Oregon had offered him like $5 million to play one more year, and he went in the NFL, and he only got like $1.5 million or something.
Yeah, I think that probably happens with a lot of them now. I think they have the Netflix doc receiver or quarterback, whatever it is, and they have like the guys coming up and doing like they're like, oh, what was your signing bonus for the NFL? And it'll be like $720,000 or whatever. And then it's like, how much did you make in NIL? And it's like $4 million.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, now you're good enough. I guess you are going to end up in the NFL, but if it didn't work out in the NFL after a year, you could still have 10, 12 million in the bank.
Yeah. Not really doing too bad to go be in a mid-level accountant somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go own your own gym or something like these guys do.
Whatever you want to do. Yeah, I think it's helpful for a lot of people. For a fan aspect, I still think it takes a lot out of it. I know we talked about this.
Yeah, I think it's ruined it.
The fan aspect sucks, but, I don't know, good for the kids, I guess. Get some money, and now you at least have freedom after college to do whatever you want to.
Here's what we're talking about, not putting guardrails on anything, and AI, there's no guardrails on the NIL, and here's where we're at.
Yeah, maybe you need AI to write the guardrails.
There you go.
A completely non-biased party. Yeah, it's crazy how many things you just don't put guardrails on that. It seemed like it would make sense too.
I just don't I guess there's just too much money. Why you don't? It seems common sense to have guardrails on things.
Yeah,
and it's not. There's not. You could have very easily created a financial structure for these kids, and Dabo talked about it, years ago.
Yeah.
You don't give them, now they're getting, as soon as they give a verbal commitment, they're getting $10,000 a month.
Yeah.
Before they even sign, they're giving them that money to ensure that they sign, and then they get more money. But you could set it up to put it in a trust, you're getting your money. Don't worry about the money. You're getting it. You don't need a Lamborghini.
Well, I think that probably helped kids as well. I mean, you don't have any financial management skills anyways. What if you had it built into a trust that held it till contract's complete, and then you get, I don't know, it'd probably be better if it just stayed in the trust, and then they could take payments from it. It's kind of like a lottery.
Like a retirement plan.
Set them up for some sort of success rather than just dumping them. It'll
be interesting.
A lot of money to go have fun.
10 years from now, if they do studies to see how many of those kids actually still have
the money.
I'd
bet
because you hear so many stories about NFL guys that are broke.
Well, NBA players go broke.
Yeah,
and they're making insane amount of money.
I'm sure it's going to be that way with the college kids.
I mean, I think it's like, I want to say it's around 50%, but it might be more. Go broke from the NBA.
I don't know if it's true. Shador Sanders, they said he's filing bankruptcy.
I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, I don't either, but I saw it.
I don't know. That's another fun thing. Just get AI propaganda everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know what's real. What's real, what's not.
Yeah. I think a lot of them are going to go broke, unfortunately. I don't know. You get $100,000 to someone that's never seen any money. That's, you go spend it with your boys for fun weekend, and all of a sudden you're back to zero. That's just, it's unfortunate.
It is, because usually those kids haven't ever had any of the money to begin with.
The people that deserve it the most and need it the most are the ones that are probably not getting exactly set up for success with it. And it's not great. Yeah, don't love that. Yeah, just rough area. Hopefully come up with something. And make bowl games better.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my two complaints with NCAA. Those are my two gripes.
There's no point in playing in a bowl game now. Now they want more money to play in the bowl game.
Yeah, and that's just not. It's just not. I don't know. It's not good for anyone. It's just not. It's not good for the sport. It's not good for them. It's just not setting up good, like, I really think, like, personal responsibilities, and, like, you're developing young men and young women and to be, professionals and family leaders one day or whatever.
And that's what Dabo's been preaching for all these years, but it's that mentality is gone.
Yeah.
He's saying and doing the right things, and he believes the right things, but he's in a fishbowl where no one cares about graduation anymore. The kids aren't there long enough to graduate.
Yeah.
And, he's wanting to still have that, that path for these kids, and that's the right way to do it. But it's not sustainable, obviously.
You just really can't compete with people that are not.
Well,
I mean, you can't. It's like holding values in a corrupt
environment. It is. You can't.
It's just probably not going to work out for you. Hope and cheer for you for it too. But
that's where Dabo would be a great coach at a military academy.
Yeah,
those guys can't get paid. He's making men. All that stuff would be great.
Yeah.
I hope it works out. I hope he proves everybody wrong.
Yeah. I hope so. It's interesting though. I have one of my friends is a coach now at just a mid-major school, and every time he recruits, it's just what are you going to pay me?
Exactly.
And it's like, brother, we'll give you a scholarship because they don't know what.
Yeah, kids don't care. Years ago, you grew up a Clemson fan, you go to Clemson, whatever. And now they don't care.
It's just a loss. Yeah. It's a lost system, and it's too bad because it could have been maybe not completely avoided, but it could have been definitely eased into way better of at least setting up something instead of just being like, see where this goes.
Yeah, now the horse is out of the barn. And
good luck. So when did y'all start deciding to have kids? When was that in the thought process?
It's funny because we waited like 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was, we were just having fun. We were enjoying each other and trying to start a marriage and, save money and do all those things, get a house, all that kind of stuff. And I think, and you hear this, it's going to be next year.
Yeah.
As soon as we have a little more money, we'll do it. A little more money. And that never happened. And just one day she said, I'm pregnant. There you go.
That's that.
We were ready. Like I said, it'd been 7 years. And I don't know that we were actively trying to, but it's what I've learned is, everything's on God's time, not ours.
Yeah.
As much as we want to try to fight things in life.
Mm-hmm.
So 7 years. Tommy was born in 2000. Yep.
2002?
2002, that's right.
Yeah.
Sarah was 2004.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Saved you.
Yes, thank you.
What was that like? when you have that first moment of like, now this kid's in this world, and
I think as a husband and a father, and I still believe that the husband is the head of the household, and I think Carla would agree to that.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it definitely is amazing and wonderful, and we're so excited. But it adds to that pressure of being the head of the household, and it adds to being that provider.
Yeah,
which is just a normal. That's life, and you'll feel that too one day.
Yeah.
That just goes with the territory of being the man. I do believe, and I'm all in favor of women's rights. I'm not saying anything bad about that. I'm just saying, as the dad, as the husband, you have that. You should feel that responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Any girl that's meeting a man or a boy, or has a boyfriend that doesn't feel that responsibility, then she needs to keep looking. Because I don't care if she's a doctor and he's a firefighter. It doesn't matter what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's he needs to have that responsibility, and he needs to bear that burden.
Mm-hmm.
Not a burden. It's not a burden, really. He needs to bear that responsibility of I'm going to be the role model. I'm going to be the leader.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what kids need.
Yeah, I think it's every marriage, you just define roles.
Mm-hmm.
Who is taking on them? And I think often there's roles that the man does, and
I'm very traditional, and I do. That's just I have that traditional philosophy of that's the dad, the husband,
mm-hmm.
whether he's a breadwinner or not, he has to have that. He has to feel that responsibility of setting the foundation for the family.
I think so. Of being that enforcer seems like a strong word, but it is kind of like you're directing the ship. I'm kind of steering it. I'm going to, navigate this, and I think you have your partner on your side, and
absolutely, you're
both jointly steering the ship. Absolutely. But I am going to be the one that turns the wheel.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think if you're both, you can't have two people trying to drive a boat. No. Or drive a car or whatever. Mm-hmm. Whatever analogy you want to throw in there. So I mean, I want to state, I'm not making this a heterosexual relationship because that's what I'm in, and that's what I'm talking
start digging a hole.
I'm not. But I just think in any relationship, however you want to define that, one person can drive. Mm-hmm. You can't have two people driving. And so I think that's, that falls to someone's responsibility. And if you don't clearly kind of have that defined, you're going to have issues because you're going to have, overbear, and I want to yank it right.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And me personally, I believe that should be the man. I do. And that's, say what you want. That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
Women have enough roles and responsibilities. Mm-hmm. Trust me, there's more than enough for the woman to do. Uh-huh. But I definitely think the man sets the tone.
Yeah.
Really helps to shape that environment of calm, relaxing environment, or is it going to be all jacked up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think you have to be the foundation of
absolutely
a lot of it. Mm-hmm. I think if you're just up and down, mm-hmm. that doesn't really, mm-hmm. it's not helpful. Everything is hypothetically at the best stage possible. You're going to have moments where it's just,
of course, and you're going to have times that you lean on her and she's going to lean on you, and that's just life.
Yeah, I would say so. I'm also curious, church-wise, was that like a big thing when you grew up, and then it just like kept going, or kind of what was that?
Yeah, I grew up Catholic, and I don't, at least in my family and families that we went to church with, it was just very much of a, you go to church on Sundays, you don't really talk a lot about God or Jesus. Looking back, how wrong that was, but that was just how I grew up. Check the box. We went to church. Go to confession before Christmas and Easter, and do all those things, and go do Sunday school, and so I did that. Carla grew up Baptist and went to church and did all her camps and all that, and so we both had a very strong Christian foundation. Hers was probably a closer relationship with God than mine was. And as we kind of came together, we both, we wanted that to be the foundation. We went to church, St. Michael's. We chose Lutheran. We figured that was kind of halfway between Catholic and Baptist. It's kind of that's just how we came up with it, and did that we were St. Michael's Lutheran on Augusta Road. We did that for a good while. I want to say 7-8 years. Tommy was born. Sarah was there. Might have been longer than that. Might have been. I don't remember, but
good while.
But yeah. Then we came and went to Redeemer and Travelers Rest, which was a Presbyterian. Really liked that. But very much, really wanted our children to know God, to be raised in that environment, and to have a relationship. And to really make that their foundation. Really, that was very important to us. And I think they still. I think we've done a pretty decent job with that. As far as that goes, they seem to be somewhat centered. I don't mean that negatively. Certainly when I was 18, 19, I got to college, and that was not the.
It's life.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But so and that's just still, we're still very much even as close as we've been, with Jesus and having a strong relationship. For sure.
You think that's really been just kind of a way to help align things, like when you're trying to figure out parenting, you're trying to figure out that, you kind of have at least you have at least some teachings from the Bible that you kind of pull on and mix, and your experience.
I mean, that's, how do you know right from wrong? It's, you have to have that foundation of of love, which comes from Jesus, and fear and all those things. That's got to be at the. We know people that don't have that, and that's great. But for us, it was definitely had to be that way.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to it.
There is.
I think,
and it's it wasn't easy every Sunday, and getting the kids up and driving 45 minutes to go to church, and the easy thing is sleep in, and
right.
It was definitely important, for sure.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how personally we progress through it. I find it an interesting question, because I never grew up in a church, or not that none of let's say we are a religious family, but it was never like you're going to Sunday school, you're going to that. Occasionally you'd go there. Really like the Christmas
That's what. Yeah.
So it's similar, like upbringing. So I'm just always curious on how.
No, absolutely. I love to talk about it, and it's that's how I grew up. It was checking boxes, and Carla really helped me with that to learn more about the relationship with Jesus, as far as that goes. Because to me, that my family was it was kind of a private thing. Your relationship with God was a private, personal thing, and I like the more openness about it, and being able to talk about it. And to this day, my mom would not want to talk about it just because that's not how she grew up. And, very much sharing my journey as far as that goes. In my walk with Christ, and that has gradually. It's that sanctification process of that relationship and growing that, and that's taken me. I went from nothing, to reading the Bible regularly and praying regularly and doing those things. And there was actually a point in my life, and it wasn't to where I really, really got serious about it. It was probably only maybe 10 years ago, to where I really, and I don't even know what it was, but it just hit me really strong of, if I'm doing this, what am I believing? I need to, is this really real? Is this, I'm doing all these things and that's great, but I need to, get on the horse or get off the horse. Seriously. If this is really, if Jesus really is who he says he is, then what am I doing? How am I living? How am I not living? And that was a big awakening for me of just, hey, here's a line in the sand where if I'm really expecting to go to heaven one day and to live in eternity with God and to do these things, what am I doing? I've got to commit. I've got to make that commitment, and I'm a sinner, and I still cut up, and but that was really my turning point. Was I've got to choose if I got to be all in on this. I can't just kind of be
on the fence.
So a lot of prayer, a lot of reading, a lot of not just Bible reading, a lot of books on the historicity of the Bible. There's a lot of great books out there that literally talk about the resurrection and the time of year it was, and things that lunar. How was the moon? All these. There's tons of the red moon, the blood moon, and there's tons of that literally goes back. That's I got to be. I want to see proof, and there is proof in those things, and that's what I had to find for myself. That's what it was. Is just having that understanding of myself, of trusting and.
Well, so when you're half on the fence, was it more like, I don't want to...
No, you can say anything you want, bro.
Project but like, are you thinking kind of like, I believe in God and it's the, like, Bible?
I'm a Christian, I believe in God, and I believe in Jesus, and, that's cool. That's it. How am I living? How is my mind working with that mentality of, it's cool. Yeah, I believe in God. I'm going to heaven. Okay, well, am I?
Yeah.
Am I not? in my mind, yeah, like, yeah, I'm a Christian. You talk to everybody on the street, yeah, I'm a Christian too. We're all Christian. But how are you living? What is my relationship? It's not even how I'm living. It's what's my relationship, my personal relationship.
Yeah.
That at the end of the day, it's just me and him. There's nobody else. And there's things I'm going to have to answer for. We all will.
Yeah.
If you believe that. And I had to figure that out for myself to where I can really come to terms with knowing, where I'm going and why I'm going there. And that's my journey of it was really just one day. I don't know if that's the Holy Spirit. I don't know what it was, but it was literally I was in a Starbucks. Seriously.
Yeah.
And it was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Pick a side.
Yeah.
Quit sitting on the fence and either I'm gonna do this or I got to lose. I'm gonna start reading. I'm gonna learn as much as I can to make an informed decision.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Huh. That's an interesting
Yeah. And that's with anything. I don't know much about AI, but the more I read about it, the more I'm going to learn, and then I can decide how much of the AI stuff I want to believe, or I want to learn about. That's with anything. So, the more that I read, then I'm like, this is real. That's how I felt. That's how I do feel. This is real. These things actually happened. History has. These are not. These are historical events. They literally happened. And half the stories I didn't know about, so it was just learning, really. It really was I've got to make a choice. I'm not going to wake up and be 75 and be like, or still be in the same boat. Because you can just go on year after year and be like, yeah, I'm a Christian and it's cool. Yeah, I'm not going to necessarily do anything about it, but, I'm just going to hope for the best,
Yeah. I feel like that's a pretty easy trap to fall in. That just kind of like kick the can down the road if I'm going to take this serious.
Absolutely. It's very easy because you can wake up and it's 10 years later.
Yeah.
And that's with anything, It could be your career of, and that happened, I was in a job and one day I woke up and I was at that job for 22 years. Like, man, maybe I should have looked at doing something else sooner.
Yeah.
It was great. And again, it was, God had a plan and he has a plan for everybody, but it was, I just, with as important as my salvation is, am I going to believe that I'm just going to die and go away? Or, it's just, that's what we all have to decide at some point.
Yeah. That's the truth.
Seriously.
Eventually you have to pick something.
So I'm just not going to be the one to show up at Christmas and Easter. Why am I even doing that? Is that to make myself feel better?
I'd say probably. I'd have to think.
I don't know.
I think of it. I think
is that to check those two boxes?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what it falls into. Of like,
and I'm not judging anybody. I'm really not trying to. But it's, and I worked with a lot of people that said they were Christian, or even people that said that they agnostic, don't really know, but they're still celebrating Christian holidays.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to be stuck in that middle space.
Yeah. I can understand that. I think
for something as important as this.
Yeah.
We're not talking about Clemson football,
No.
And that's important.
When you're talking
something about, as important as, as my eternity.
Right.
I'm just not going to be, I really, a lot of it, not a lot, but there was a good amount that was fear of when I do get to heaven, God's going to be, what'd you do for the last 40 years?
Yeah.
And I'm going to, I'm going to be like,
yeah.
It's like, I was almost there. Sorry, bud.
Yeah. I didn't make time for it.
Yeah, I was too busy Instagramming.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And I still get, that still takes away from, my reading time and trust me, and I am by no means, I still have a ways to go.
Yeah, and I think that's a very honest and good spot to phrase it as.
I'm far from where I need to be.
I feel like falling in a trap if you say I'm there. I mean,
You're never there.
You're never going to be there.
You know, and it's a process. It's a journey, and I know that's cliche to say, but it really is. But I think at some point everyone needs to have that discussion with themselves of, is this something as important as that? You should spend time trying to figure out where you stand.
Yeah, I think everyone needs to look pretty inward and just see what is it that I fully
And it
believe.
Could be when you're 20. It could be when you're 60. There's,
it happens when it happens.
Yeah.
It's not
yeah, exactly. It does.
Yeah, that's my thought of it is always, what do you believe 100%? And Christianity is what I believe in that path.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's like I don't have a lot of I don't like wishy-washy. That's kind of where it's like, I just don't believe in anything, and it's like that's a weird place.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't know how you just I'm like nothing's after. It's just dirt.
Well, and
I'm like, that's a weird.
There's you've got all these books.
Mm-hmm.
You can find plenty of books on historical, biblical accuracies. You can find plenty to read about. And that for me that was what I needed was, I need to figure out
something to say proof of like
these people really existed. This really happened.
Mm-hmm.
There's more eyewitness accounts, and there's more writings on the Bible than just Roman history in general. It's just gotta it's an important subject to have. Whether and it's important for at least make it. And I think I think part of it for me was just like I kind of hate being on the fence about anything.
Yeah.
And it was like I'm either a Clemson fan or I'm not, or whatever it is. I'm gonna be a good dad or I'm not. I'm not kind of I'm gonna go with the wind.
I'm not gonna half-ass my way through this and be like,
pick a side.
Yeah.
We do it in so many other things in life.
Mm-hmm.
We the amount of time I invested in studying Clemson recruiting in football in the 90s and the 2000s.
For it to only pay off in the 2010s.
Yeah. I could tell you details about every 18-year-old 4- and 5-star recruit and 3-star recruit you ever wanted to know back then, and what the heck was that for? So, that's my path, and that's I like to share that because it's what do they say? Shit or get off the pot. It's kind of like at some point for me, it just finally was like,
all right,
choose, or at least learn, at least figure it out. There's books, there's teachings. Then make a choice, but don't just make a choice out of thin air of
off a whim.
Yeah, or just at least learn about what you're choosing.
Yeah, especially now. I mean, you have access to anything you want to. If you want to go listen to a podcast about it, if you want to go listen to a YouTube video, if you want to read a book about it.
And that's like I said. That's anything in life is just do homework on stuff.
Yeah. I agree. It's I don't like being. I don't know. I don't like not having a knowledge of where I stand or know about something. I don't like really talking about. If I don't know anything about it, then I'm not going to make an opinion about it because it's just like.
And I'm the same way. Is so whatever it is in life, if it's something that's important, the lazy way is just not to do anything. And I've done plenty of lazy ways of doing nothing about a lot of things.
Yeah.
I really have. But just that at that moment in my life, it just hit me that I've got to
stand in a Starbucks.
Yeah, seriously, I was. What am I doing? So.
Well, that's quite a place to have an aha moment of figuring it out.
I know. It's funny because one of that's that was a job that I had that I fell out of love with, but the time I had studying the Bible and being drawn closer, those were together, which is kind of weird. So
it's interesting that you kind of moved away from one path to open another door. Yeah, well, I mean, the way life goes is just a funny.
It is
funny little path you go down.
And you wake up and you're 55.
Yeah, that's how it feels every birthday now. It's like, wow, you're here now.
So when you turn 40, 24, 25?
24.
Yep.
Yeah, getting mid-20s.
Yes.
Yeah, no longer early 20s. I'm curious about a big part. Because I think it would be interesting if when Tommy was like, I'm going to the military, this is what I want to do. What was that kind of like from a parent perspective?
He was so focused on doing it it was easy, and there's always, little sidetracks of things, but it was something that he wanted to do. I think starting in middle school is when he really focused on that's what he wanted to do, which is interesting because nobody in my family had been in the military. My uncle was, but I didn't really have much of a relationship with him. But yeah, he was just focused on doing it, and he, as a parent, and where he wanted to go to school, I was proud and excited and nervous and wanting. As a parent, you want your kids' dreams to come true, and you want them to get everything they want. So there was a lot of anxiety leading up to that. Because you don't want your kids to get heartbroken over whatever. But yeah, no, it was. He did the work to get where he wanted to go, and I think that's not just me saying that because I'm his dad, but I think that's probably more uncommon than common to actually at 16, 17 do all the required work to get to where he wanted to be at 18, to put himself in that position. So we were thrilled. Yeah. Honestly, it was to have a kid that's focused about getting something. Couldn't be more proud of that, to be honest.
I guess there's kind of more of a calming, the fact that he worked kind of so hard and so long, of like, this is it's almost like I don't want to compare it to like going to a pro sport or something, but it was kind of like he's going to the top of, what you could go do.
And that's definitely, we all kind of get things in our mind of, I'm going to do this, and then a month later you kind of, we're on the fence about it. He just stayed on it. And whether it was grades or extracurricular activities, whatever he knew he had to do, the dude put in the work, and I can't be more, I can't show more love than just, I'm like, man, I could not have done that. And I've told him that was not me. I would never have been able to do what he's done. All I can do is just fully appreciate it. At the time, and still to this day, it's crazy.
It is. It's a wild thing to watch.
It is. You saw it firsthand.
I think of it more as interesting just from a parenting perspective of like you're going to this top. And that's why I was kind of curious on how you would take it.
You set the, he kind of set the bar high. It's like trying to get into an Ivy League school. It's most kids don't do that. So, there's no guarantee that you're going to get to do this, and you're going to put in all this work, and it's, you hope you don't have that big heartbreak.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what you fear is that, that he's going to put years of work into something,
Yeah.
and it just didn't happen. And how would he react to that? But
Yeah.
it worked out, and the dude's doing good.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
he is. Yeah.
Probably that guy.
Yeah.
Little crazy guy.
Yeah.
No, it's I am amazed every time I talk to him. It's like, wow, don't know how you're doing that. I don't know how you got through all that homework. Then you let swimming take you down. But
I know, right? Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. We'll give you a pass for that.
Yeah.
Now that you've gotten kind of more into the Bible and all, like
Mm-hmm.
kind of doing all that learning process, was that something like learning wise? Did you get into like reading and learning about things kind of? I guess like middle age, like 30s and 40s. Was that like kind of the path of like you've always been curious?
And I think that's what it was. It was I think in my mind I was spending my 30s, 20s and 30s of I'm a Christian. I go to church. And then in my 40s that's when I had that aha moment of what do I really believe, and did these people really do what supposedly they did, and all this, that's really what it was. It was I spent 20 years of just being, I'm a Christian. I go to church. I'm a good guy. That kind of stuff, and that was me. That was just me. Of I just had that moment of
Yeah. Most high pressure question of this whole time will be the ending question. If you have just one piece of advice or tidbit or knowledge that you'd pass on to a peer or people growing up, what's something that you would think of to pass on to everybody?
I think the easiest thing someone can do for somebody else is just be nice, be kind. It's sometimes that's the harder thing to do. Just to be, I don't. As I've gotten older, I've realized that I don't want to be the guy that ruins Dylan's day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to flip off with a comment.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy to ruin somebody's day. I have no idea what Dylan's going through. I don't know what happened to him today. I don't know what, if he's in a good place mentally. I don't know what Dylan's story is this day, this week, what his life is good, bad, up, down. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
So somebody smarts off, somebody's confrontational. Just be nice. That's so simple to be.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be hard though.
Also, it can be challenging.
And you're on the road. You get some road rage, and you want to flip somebody off because they're riding your bumper.
Yeah.
And I'm not always successful at being nice all the time, but that's
yeah. I get it.
It is. But just love everybody. If everybody did that, things could be so much better and happier. And I've really tried to make that a priority in the family. We're all going through things in life, especially nowadays. Some days you're depressed, some days you're happy. I don't know what Keely's day was like today. Why would I go down there and just not be as warm and generous and why make a point to give her a hug. It's really that easy.
Yeah.
Good day, bad day. I'm not going to be that guy.
Yeah. What's the worst thing that could happen when you're trying to be nice and compassionate? I think it's great. It's a good piece. It's a good piece. Well, thank you, Glenn. I appreciate it.
Yes.
That was great.
Absolutely.